Hey, Suzanne Pickens here, and I'm super excited to be sharing something with y'all this afternoon that I did for years without ever even knowing it. And it matters because it's all about giving your power away. And maybe you're giving your power away and have no clue about it, just like I was before. The gist is this: it's easy to spot someone playing the victim unless it's you. Most of us associate someone playing the victim as a person who blames and complains and whines. But the definition of victim is someone who has the perception that something or someone outside of themselves determines their happiness and their fate. So here's what playing a victim looked like in my own life. If my husband worked less or was home more, then I'd be happy. If we had more money, the holidays would be so much less stressful. If my schedule wasn't so crazy, then I'd be able to make more time to work out. You know, morning people, they're just wired differently. We have different DNA. There's nothing I can do to change that. Or after I drink this glass of wine, then I'm going to relax and I'm going to quit snapping at my kids. So do those sound familiar? They're really, really familiar to me because those are the things that I used to say in my head a lot. The common denominator there is that they are all those scenarios are dependent on someone or something outside of myself. And when we play the victim, all that is being in a practice of giving our power away. So if you want to take your power back, it first starts with awareness. You can start by paying attention to your day and where in your day and what part of your day are you feeling resistance, like feeling a tug inside or feeling stressed or anxious or frustrated or disappointed or angry, really unpleasant emotions. Where in your day do you feel those unpleasant emotions most? And the second thing to pay attention to is who are you blaming for those feelings? Like, is it your husband because he's not home from work? Is it your kids because they didn't pick up their dirty laundry? Who is to blame for the way that you're feeling? You might be surprised at all of the different times of your day when you are playing the victim by directing your blame and your frustration at someone or something outside of yourself. That's definitely been the case for me. But just start by focusing on one of those scenarios at a time. So for me, that's dinner time. That's a time of day when I feel really, really frustrated and I have a tendency to play the victim. So once you narrow down that scenario or the time of day that's where you're most likely to play the victim, I want you to look at that scenario and think about if it wasn't about someone else, if this didn't fall on someone else or something else, and it only fell on you, then what actions could you take that would get you different results? My husband's work schedule isn't changing or doesn't appear to be anytime soon. So I got to take him out of the equation. I don't want to feel angry and stressed and anxious while I'm trying to cook dinner. That is a very stressful time of day, but if there is something that I can do to make that time of day better, then I want to know what that is. So rather than focusing my time and energy on being really pissed off at him, I'm going to look at and come up with some different scenarios that fall on me. So here are a few that actually have worked for me. One is meal prepping. So on Sunday, my husband is home. And if I can go ahead and get a little more prepared for the week and cooking dinner and just have everything almost ready where I'm just warming it up basically, then that makes the weeknights more peaceful. We've also used a meal delivery service so that I know it comes directly to my house. I don't have to worry about a list in the grocery store. It comes directly to me and it's divided by meal and it's a quick, easy thing for me to cook that makes me still feel like I've got my act together. One thing I've figured out is that if I send my girls up, it took me a little while to get them used to because they're still kind of young to shower on their own. But once I taught them how to do that, I now send them up and that gives me at least 20, 25 minutes of just peace because the older two are the ones that really, they're fighting constantly. And that adds more stress and anxiety to the situation when you're trying to cook and entertain kids and a baby and all of those things. So having them gone, taking showers and getting a step ready for bed has been super helpful. And these may sound really simple, but I noticed that having the evening news on in the background was making me feel more anxious because it's generally negative news. And so even if I wasn't paying attention, I noticed that it made me more anxious and worried and stressed. And so just cutting that off as background noise really helped. Taking deep breaths, as silly as that sounds, really helped. So just focusing on taking a deep breath, counting in to breathe, 1, 2, 3, and breathing out with 1, 2, 3. Those are simple things that have really helped that I can focus on that aren't about anybody else, something or someone else outside of myself that have made that time for me easier and less stressful and less anxious. And I'm not so focused on who or what to blame. And all this is about is giving the power back to us. Because see, when we blame it on someone else, and when we're playing the victim, or making it about someone or something else determining how we feel about our lives, then we are giving our power away. So all this is really focusing on how you can take that power back and focus on what you can do, what actions you can take outside of anyone else to make your life more pleasant and more in your own control. If this is helpful to you, I really hope you'll subscribe to this channel. I show up each week and I'm delivering messages that I'm learning as I go. And just so you know, I have not perfected this. I don't ever plan to. But this helps hold me accountable by sharing the things that I'm learning so that I remember to use them every day in my own life. I'm all about spreading the love to other mamas because I feel like this is a really hard role to be in. We're pulled in so many different directions, and most of us just want to feel seen and feel appreciated. So share this video with a mom that you are grateful for. Compliment them in a really genuine way about what makes them so awesome. Pass that along to them. What may seem like a really small gesture to you can mean the world to someone else. So share that love today, and I'll see you again next week.